Hey guys, here is my War 10. I've got a pretty quick Nick and Corvus set of fights. I was meant to be taking a couple more fights, but I forgot about needing Proximus energy, which is just really silly, but it happens, and we may do anyway, so, all good. Um, but yeah, first up, to ramp up Corvus, we've got this White Magneto on this static charge node. The main threat here is just the shocks, and high ground's a little annoying, but not the biggest deal. So I see my first L2 took out 36% health. So I'm like, okay, this next L2 is guaranteed to kill. And it does with the power pack boosters and 3 out of 3 recoil. We just get a very easy fight there. And then for this long shot, I only need Nick Fury for this one fight. I was like, okay, if there's anyone I could bring for a single fight, it's gonna be Nick Fury. And he can solo just about anything if you start in your first life. And, they're not bleed immune and all. So, long shot. I figure, okay, let's just nuke this as fast as possible. If he throws his L2, whatever, I'll be pushed to my second life, but I won't die. And yeah, let's just nuke this fight. Now, ideally he doesn't throw his L2 because, you don't want to enter second life, but if he does, like he did here, I should have done a 4-hit combo into L2, and then that L2 would have ended the fight, but, I accidentally pushed myself to an L3. It's whatever, just drags the fight on a little bit longer, and after he gets out of this L3, he's gonna immediately throw his L2. Pretty weird AI from there, because, you see, like, he's already melting from my bleeds. Yeah, they just melted him. And, yeah. Now, we've got this Peni on Spite. I've got a couple Reed pre-fights here. My plan is to try and get shield down, eat a combo from Peni, and then get to my L2, and that should provide a solo. The Petrify will help with Spite a lot, and then we have this Suppression Field. Since we just had an extra Reed pre-fight, not a huge deal here. The main thing is the Petrify. If you have a Petrify or Wags pre-fight, this is very safe. Without Wags pre-fight, it gets a little bit sketchier. You definitely want a Wags here. But Petrify and Suppression, they're a fine substitute for this fight. And yeah, I'm trying to get Peni to hold her block, but she decides to just never hold her block. So we go in a little bit, we eat that first combo, and I'm like, okay. We get parried, and we're at our L2, so I'm like, okay, we're at our L2. Let's just throw it. It gets the auto block, which removes all of her auto block charges, and then we can just combo in and finish the fight, and we're good. And yeah, now for this Professor X, I get pretty weird AI here. Normally, Professor X is quick to throw special ones, but he was just not throwing anything in this fight. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to use a little bit of a trick that I use against Professor X a lot, where you hit in after the special, and then you wait out the falter, and due to how long his channeling takes, you can actually hit in after that falter expires, and then you don't need to go for, like, another parry after high ground expires and whatever. So you don't need to take any extra high ground damage, or, any risk of a parry failing or anything, and it just simplifies the fight and speeds it up a little bit, which is just a nice touch. I've never been parried or anything doing it, so yeah, and I've never seen anyone have any issues with this, so I'm pretty sure it's like 100% safe, but I could be wrong. But I've personally never had any issues doing that. And then, yeah, we've got this Psycho Man. The main danger of this fight is his L2 has a lot of blocked hits. So I just want to be on top of baiting those L1s, and as long as we get those L1s baited, we're good here. I'm very, very comfortable dexing his L1. I fought Psycho Man quite a lot from some ACT content I don't remember, so I'm very, very good at dexing his L1. So I'm perfectly fine with this fight. And if it does hit you, it's not the end of the world. His specials don't really hit that hard, so now we're gonna build to our L2. And Corvus's tech AR actually bypassed the indestructible here, which lets me just immediately fire that and end the fight. And now we've got a Guardian. So yeah, for this Guardian, it's mostly just a game of alternating your combos and just keeping high ground under control. There's really not a lot of danger in this fight. I'm going to block his specials, so we don't have any chance of getting hit or anything. This 200% Cosmic, probably a waste. But yeah, so during this fight, I'm going to talk about our war. So we ended up losing, and now we need to win the last war to get Masters. Hopefully, we can pull out a win. Uh, I trust the eyes. We can definitely get a win. We just got to play really well, and hopefully, with the win, we can get into Masters. We're in second place in Plat 1 right now, so a win should put us in Masters. And yeah, so for this Guardian fight, like I said, just alternating combos to keep control of high ground. As you can see here, that 3-hit combo and then 5-hit combo gives us a perfect opportunity to get that control of high grounds. And yeah, here we're trying to get him L1 baited, but I don't really bait it properly. And then he gets this one high ground charge, but it doesn't really matter, and the fight's just over because Corvus is crazy. And yeah, for this Mysterio fight, it's just a game of getting to your L2 before he ever gets to L1, and then that L2 will end the fight. I thought the first L2 wouldn't end the fight, but I was wrong. He has a pretty low health pool, and we have class advantage, so it's going to end the fight. And yeah, pretty decent war for myself. 7 fights, not bad at all, without deaths. And yeah, the main danger and reason Mysterio is placed here is because of his heavy being so quick, and on Limber generally you want to bait heavies. But I personally don't have any issues with Mysterio's heavy, so, I have no issues with this placement. But I think that's why it's placed, is just because of that quick heavy. So yeah, decent war for myself.